What's going on, guys? My name's EFK, and today I want to talk about something that I know is going to be quite controversial because the console itself is quite controversial. That's Intellivision Amico, and I just want to kind of say why. At this point, I feel like Intellivision should just either shut up shop and sell off its assets or should be sold to another company. Now, if you don't know, Intellivision Amico is based on smartphone technology from 2018, not 2016. It should have been out in 2018. It obviously got delayed. It's still not come out even at the end of 2022, and it feels like it's never going to come out at this point. Why do I say this? Well, first of all, let's talk about the increased competition of the market since Intellivision Amico was announced. Obviously, we've had next gen Xbox and PlayStation. There's rumors of another Switch. We've got the Evercade VS, Evercade EXP. You had the Atari VCS. You've got multiple PC platforms now, like the Epic Game Store. You got Steam. You got Bleem coming soon. Plus you got all these Chinese knockoffs. It's just as well as flashback consoles. To me, it just doesn't really feel like there's much need to own an Amico anymore, even though it doesn't exist. Second of all, uh, not Atari, what Intellivision has had about $11 billion to make, not billion, $11 million to make. They couldn't do it, right? They could not release the console for some reason, but Atari could make a manufacture one and release it after being crowdfunded for only 3 million, about a quarter of that. Now people are like Atari's a big company. Yeah, that is arguably true. But personally, to me, I feel like the reason we haven't seen the Intellivision Miko is because the hardware doesn't actually exist. I mean, wasn't it supposed to be in production in 2021? Wasn't it already in production in 2021? I know because I saw like OEBP when it went up with that, and DJC Game Studios, they all talked about it being in production, yet the system's never come out. I know people just like, you're a hater, you're hating Intellivision, you don't like Intellivision. And to be honest, I ain't got no problem with Intellivision as a company. It's just I'm starting to see the problem. People will say, you're a hater, as if it disproves anything, right? But I'll be honest, if you can't explain to me how the system was in production last year and yet they've still not released a single unit, and then only two YouTubers have received test units, that's a red flag to me, a huge red flag to me, because companies like Blaze Entertainment have been able to release Evercade systems for the past 3 years in a row, with updated hardware specs, updated, you know, features, all that sort of stuff. But we haven't seen nothing with Intelligent. Intelligent just sort of just kind of died off. And they said, oh, whatever the pandemic, there's a chip shortage. Yeah, life's a bitch, put it lightly. Sorry for my language. But every other company adapted. Blaze Entertainment adapted. Atari adapted. Microsoft, Sony, Nintendo, they all adapted, right? So the excuse that Intellivision is a small company doesn't work because Blaze Entertainment and Atari are also small companies. They also got hit by the same problem, and they were able to fix it. They was able to get through it. They was able to push past it. But Intellivision, for some reason, can't. To be honest, at this point, I don't even feel like the Intelligent Amico even exists. People say, "But I played a test unit. I played a test unit when in Special Factory where they were showing it." Yeah, but how many of them are in the wild? Because besides the two I know that was sent out to teachers, one being the Atari Creep, I doubt there's even one that exists because there's no games for it, right? No one's talking about it. And also, there's contradictions as well with how many games it said it was going to offer. Tommy Toluca said, oh, it's got like 50 plus games in development. They've got deals like Disney and all these other companies to license their IPs, especially family friendly IPs, to make it a family friendly console. The problem is, to a lot of people, if you wanted to buy a console for your kid to play, the Xbox Series S is like what, $200? The Switch Lite is $200. They all have family friendly games. They both have family friendly games. The Evercade, for example, was cheap, and kids probably won't care if they're playing pixelated games, but they're playing like fun little games like Foxyland. There's just so many different options. There's also smartphones. You can also get a smartphone. And to me, I just kind of feel like the games don't look that good, right? There's so many other options on how to play sort of family friendly games and that. There's no real major first party title worth grabbing, and the fact it was supposed to be affordable, and now the system costs $350, 100 of it goes to one investor. I don't see how people are still falling for this. I don't see how YouTubers have still bought onto the idea that this is real. It's gonna happen. It's gonna release. Because I'll be honest, right? The Atari VCS and the Evercade handheld were both delayed to hell. They both still came out. right? They weren't delayed for 4 years. They weren't delayed for 6 years. Because remember, the technology is 6 years old. So this technology is 6 years old. Obviously, there's going to be chip shortages because obviously no one's using smartphones in 2016 anymore. At least they're not still making smartphones in 2016 because companies like Samsung, Apple, and Google have all moved on to newer phones and newer models, right? So there's that. Personally, to me, I just kind of feel like the Intellivision Amico at this point is a money laundering scheme. Like they've got all this money and investments, they've not actually done anything with any of it, and now they're just kind of sitting on their hands, going, right, we need to actually release a product so we don't get sued. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments down below. And I know I probably angered a lot of people by saying that, and disagreeing and not agreeing that the Intellivision Amico is going to be the ultimate game console because I don't think it even exists, to be honest. If you're new here, make sure you subscribe, like, share, all that good stuff. I put videos on all sorts of stuff. Obviously, I'm mainly an Navigator channel, but obviously recently I've been doing stuff, other content. So if you like all that sort of stuff, make sure you subscribe. Anyway, guys, let me know your thoughts. And yeah, I'll talk to you next one. Peace.